Konnichiwa minasan. Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to Saral Japani YouTube channel and today is lesson 22, basic sentence in Japanese with focus on particle wa and copula des. These are the lessons we have completed so far in this series and this is for your information just in case you would be interested to go through them if you have not already done. So we start basic sentence structure. So English language follows the SVO structure. That is, any sentence is written in the form of subject, verb, object. As for example, John is a man, Japan is a country, I am Indian. So here you can see John, Japan, and I are the subjects of these three sentences. Is and am are verbs, and the objects are a man, a country, and Indian. So what will happen when we write these in Japanese? So Japanese doesn't follow the SVO structure. It instead follows SOV structure, which means subject comes first, followed by object, and at the end, the verb is present. So how these three sentences will be written in Japanese then? Jon wa otoko desu, Nihon wa kuni desu, Watashi wa Indojin desu. So here you can see that Jon, Nihon, and Watashi. These are the subjects. So John in katakana will be written as Jon like this. Japan in Japanese it's called Nihon and I is Watashi. Watashi means I in Japanese. So this is the subject like English in Japanese also it will come first in the sentence. Then the object since this is an SOV structure so we have the object. Otoko means man. Kuni means country and Indojin means Indian. So if you remember our katakana and kanji lessons, so Indo is India, which we have done in the katakana lesson, and Jin means person or a citizen. So Indojin means uh, an Indian person or an Indian citizen. And then we have the verb des, which is a form of to be verb like is, am, are. So all these are different forms of to be verb. So this is a corresponding word in Japanese. So we have the sentences written as John wa otoko desu, Nihon wa kuni desu, Watashi wa Indojin desu. So these are written in Japanese. You can see John wa otoko desu, Nihon wa kuni desu, Watashi wa Indojin desu. So now, what is the additional thing that we don't have in English but present in Japanese? This is this particle wa. So what's this particle wa? Let's see now in detail. So before that, what are particles? The Japanese particles are basically function words used to give context to other words. Or a particle is a pseudo word that is a false word which has no meaning, but a function in maintaining order in in a sentence. For example, we have I and my. These are two totally different words in terms of spelling in English. But if you see here, in Japanese, we have watashi in both cases, but it is followed by an additional word wa in case of I and no in case of my. So the meaning of my will be conveyed when we use no particle after watashi. So watashi no means my. If we say my name is, then we have to say watashi no namae wa Sujoy desu. Something like that. And if I say I am Sujoy, then watashi wa Sujoy desu. So this is what a particle does in Japanese. So the particles basically connect different parts of a sentence such as nouns, pronouns, verbs, etc. They make a sentence clearer, but they don't change like verbs or nouns. They are always the same, that is, they remain constant in a sentence. There is no form. If wa is there, then it will always remain wa. In Japanese, particles play an important role in clarifying what someone is talking about and can function like conjunctions and prepositions like in, and, with, or to. These are the 15 particles in Japanese. We have just seen wa, and also we discussed something about no. Then we have ga for emphasis or some kind of questioning of the subject. Then we have ka for asking questions. We have mo, which means as well or even. Then we have o or wo as the direct object. Then we have these three particles ni, de, and he for implying different kinds of movements. We have to and ya for conveying the meaning of and. Then we have from, kara, to or until as made. Then we have two more particles ne and yo, which means right or you know. So we shall be discussing each of these particles in detail in our upcoming lessons. So you need not get confused or worried about so many particles being displayed simultaneously. So for today, we shall be only looking at this va particle, which is used after the subject in a general sense, and the subject that we are talking about, the va particle follows that subject. So what's this va particle? Let's see. Va marks the topic of a sentence, and it is equivalent to English as for or speaking of. That is okay. So the next thing is that if you can recognize this character, if you remember the hiragana script or the hiragana characters, then this character is the ha sound. But when this character is used as a particle, it is pronounced as wa and not ha. And the reason is the same reason, that it's for the ease of pronunciation. So watashi ha is difficult to pronounce, watashi wa is easy to pronounce. So this is the reason why we call it wa and not ha. So next is va follows the topic the speaker wants to talk about, that is the subject. Therefore, it is often called the topic marking particle. The topic is often the grammatical subject, but can be anything, including the grammatical object and sometimes the verb, and it may also follow some other particles. So if you have got confused with so much of text, so for a simple understanding, just remember this logic. A va B this. This means A is B. So when we have to write a sentence like this, then we use this va particle and this des copula, which we shall see again in the next slide. So this is how the va particle is used in a simple Japanese sentence, and it always follows the subject. So we return back to our original slide of the basic sentences. So we have seen the subject, the object, the particle. So next is this des. What is this des? Let's take a look. The des copula, it's a Japanese copula, des. That means it's a word that grammatically links subjects and predicates. It's usually translated to English as to be or it is. In sentences, it is used as am, is, or are verbs, that is different forms of to be verb. It also gives a sense of politeness and formality to the sentence. So if we have a single word answers, then uh, for seniors or for elders, we add this after that word. So it's a kind of polite behavior. So in simple words, this is the to be verb. For example, mizu des. If we say mizu des means it's water. Indojin des, I am Indian. Gakusei des, I am a student. So we need not add watashi wa gakusui des or watashi wa indojin des. We need not add watashi wa in every sentence. Indojin des means it implies that I am Indian. So this is what the des copula is, and uh, so it's basically the to be verb. Any form of to be will be written as this in the present tense, of course. In Japanese writing, there is no space between two words in a sentence. Then you might wonder, if there is no space between two words and everything is written at one go in a sentence, then how do people differentiate or how do uh, they they understand the meaning of the sentence, that what meaning that sentence is conveying. So that is not a problem for the Japanese people, since they write the sentence in three different scripts: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So let's see how it works. The three sentences that we have been discussing in today's lesson are: John is a man, Japan is a country, and I am Indian. So when we write these in Japanese, John wa otoko desu. If you see here, John is written in katakana. This is wa in hiragana. This is otoko is kanji. So we have done this kanji in our one of the kanji lessons, otoko. And if you remember, then this comes from the rice field and this comes from the energy. So this is the kanji for a man. And again, this is the copula we just discussed. So this is again written in hiragana. So if you see katakana, hiragana, kanji, hiragana. So since three different scripts are used, so it is not difficult to differentiate the words or demarcate different words present in this sentence. Jon wa otoko desu. Next is Japan is a country. Nihon wa kuni desu. So this is the kanji for Nihon. This also you are aware we have done both these symbols. Nihon wa kuni desu. So kanji, hiragana, kanji, hiragana. So this is again very easy to read. I am Indian. This is watashi. This is the kanji for watashi. Although we have not done this, but this you may remember from now onwards. This is the kanji for watashi. Wa in hiragana. Indo, this is again katakana, since Indo is a foreign word for India. Indo katakana. And this is the person radical, which is jin. So watashi wa indojin des. Kanji, hiragana, katakana, kanji, hiragana. So what I wanted to say here is that, so even though there is no space between the words, due to the presence of three different scripts, it is not very difficult to understand the meaning and to demarcate different words in this sentence. So friends, that's all for today's lesson 22. I hope you have understood the basic sentence structure and the verb article and their scopula, and how even without any gap in between the words of a sentence, we can still easily read a Japanese sentence and make meaning out of it. So hope you have understood the lesson, and we shall be back with a new topic in our lesson 23. Till then, mata imasho.